2018 Winter Paralympic Games. It's a fabulous morning, really. A bit chilly, but that doesn't matter too much. The sun is beating down and reflecting off the snowy surface here. Only mild wind as well, so that'll be good for the shooters at the Hrafeyeva Biathlon Centre, which saw terrific action just a few short weeks ago in the Winter Olympic Games.
But I don't think that it's going to be an issue.
Excitement, stories created here up in the mountains of PyeongChang. So our athletes are just gearing up here ahead of competition. We're approaching 10 AM local time. Just below freezing, -2 out there at the moment. And women's 6 kilometre sitting competition gets us underway. The 6 skiers are categorised LW10 to LW12, which denotes an impairment affecting the legs. The athletes allocated different sport classes based on impairments in the trunk, as control is the key to acceleration and balance during racing. And we see the start list here: 16 competitors from 8 nations, including the defending champion there, wearing bib 15, Andrea Eskal from Germany. She's also a bronze medalist back in Vancouver 2010. Plenty of interesting competitors in this race. Hrafeyeva, the German, Oksana Masters as well, 4th in 2014. And from the host nation, Lee Do-yeon goes wearing bib number 5 for Korea.
So just a wonderful day to open things up here at the PyeongChang Biathlon Centre. The weather has really come to the party, and we're pleased to see quite a few spectators in as well to enjoy the competition here. And some of the more experienced competitors going in the second half of the field. They'll be released at 30-second intervals. I think we're in for a great day of competition. It's good to see that these athletes are going to be well supported by the crowd here. So we have a number of athletes from the neutral Paralympic athlete team. Warming up on the range, getting a feel for the conditions. Andrea Eskal, certainly one of the favourites. She'll go off second last, followed only by Oksana Masters on the screen now. So all the preparation has been done, the wax applied to the skis appropriate for the conditions, they hope. We're pretty close to us.
Oksana Masters last go there wearing bib 16. A couple of athletes from the United States on the start list here. Joy Rondeau going second after Nan Yu, who will lead us off here. And Chu from China. There's 2 Chinese athletes going within the first 3 starters here. And then we'll have Nono Nita of Japan and Lee Do-yeon wearing bib number 5 going off for the host nation Korea. 2.5 minutes in, so a staggered start in the biathlon, and we look forward to a terrific race. Winner normally clocks in around about the 20-minute mark, might be just over here on this PyeongChang Biathlon course up in the mountains at the Hrafeyeva Biathlon Centre. Wonderfully compact arena. So Nan Yu from China gets us off here in the women's 6 kilometre sitting competition in the biathlon events at the PyeongChang2018 Winter Paralympic Games. So they are staggered, and it's essentially a pursuit affair, really. We saw Andrea Eskal coming home to win the title in Sochi 4 years ago over this 6 kilometre distance. She is vastly experienced in this competition. Second off from the United States. Sport classification LW 11.5, Joy Rondeau. So second of 16 off here.
Out of Colorado. Taken to biathlon. So really hope to reduce the pain factor of her impairment. second of the Chinese athletes away to Hrafeyeva from Beijing. Looking forward to 4 years' time, not just now, but when Beijing hosts the next games. There's always that X factor of performing at home.
And we will see now Nono Nitta, LW 10.5, her sport classification, goes next for Japan. And bib number 4 of 16 here. And away our first athletes go on this biathlon course. Steepish climb, not too far out of the stadium circuit, which takes them off out into the mountains before they loop back round. Lee Do-yeon, she'll be a popular racer here for Korea. LW12 athlete, goes off 5th here.
Really only taken up cross-country skiing and biathlon in the last couple of years. And it's a big cheer as she sets off around the course. 3 2-kilometre laps, punctuated by 2 stops at the range. A little bit of breeze might trouble them with the rifle.
From Finland, next off, Sini Hu. Sport classification LW11. And a difficult start.
Oh yeah, that's most unfortunate for her.
These tracks driven into the snow are designed to give the athletes a more comfortable into the race. And that's it. A disappointing start for Sini Hu. We hope she's okay. Next off, Oksana Abikaramova, last of 10 4 years ago, unfortunately in Sochi, neutral, the Paralympic athlete. First of 5 to go.
A couple of 5th placings in Sochi, out on the course with Chu and Nan. Chu Bebe. There's Court Nan with Chu with the stronger classification. She should be a little quicker around the course, and the time will be adjusted accordingly. They call a calculated time to take into account their sport classification.
Second NPA, Natalia Kocherova, classified LW12, goes off here, starting off with the second half, if you will, of the starting order here. The opening biathlon event here at the PyeongChang 2018 Winter Paralympic Games. Wearing bib 10, another NPA, that is Nadezhda Fedorova. So the gauntlet laid down by our first athletes to go. Remember, it was Nan who went off first, already been dropped by Chu Bebe, wearing bib number 3, so she is the athlete to catch at present here, still in the early stages of this race, with Lidziya Hrafeyeva next to go from Belarus.
World champion in the 10K sitting from championships last year in Germany. So with a shorter distance.
Format has been tweaked in terms of the men's and women's biathlon events, raced over various distances over the last few Winter Paralympic Games. The shorter distances, 6 kilometres for the women, 7.5 for the men here. Marta Zainalina next to go.
He was a bronze medalist in the sprint in Sochi. Just missed out on a medal in the 5K. That was in cross country. And those athletes, as I say, backing up in both disciplines.
Yeah, we'll be seeing a good deal of these athletes over the next week and a bit here at PyeongChang. Irina Gulieva goes next. Our fifth and last neutral Paralympic athlete. Bib 13. There's 3 more to go, and then everyone will be out racing. From Germany, Anja Wicker, LW 10.5 classification. She was 6th in the Sochi final 4 years ago.
Wicker is the idol of one of the other competitors in the field, Nono Nitta of Japan. Models herself on this great competitor from Germany, Anja Wicker.
The Germans showing their strength 4 years ago in Sochi. With our next athlete to be released here, Andrea Eskau, picking up the gold medal 4 years ago. Didn't miss a shot, and she'll need the same kind of prowess on the range here, combined, of course, with the endurance required to be strong in the cross country. Hrafeyeva has moved into the lead, wearing bib 11. So that's a good moment for Belarus. The 2 Chinese athletes, 1 and 3, first and third to go, have been dropped. And here comes Oksana Masters, very interesting character, 4th in 2014, last of our start list to be released from the blocks here, and everyone is out on the course.
Joy Rondo in bib number 2 for the United States, and everyone out in enjoying as much as they can in fierce competition, the ideal conditions we have, and already into the range with Nan Yu.
Bib number 1, Nan. So that's a first miss. And another reminder that you have to just blend all the elements required in biathlon. You have to get it absolutely right when it matters to finish on the podium here. So that's 2 scratch shots with 1 more bullet to come, 3 out of 2. So of course there will be penalty loops involved here as well.
Paralympic athletes in this class not required to carry the rifle around the course with them. Good distinction to be aware of. Chu Bebe moves in front of Nan.
Our 2 Chinese athletes here, 2 from China, a couple from the United States, a couple from Germany. And we have Li in there as well, of course, flying the flag for the host nation here at PyeongChang 2018. And we see that first initial climb out of the stadium section, which takes them sort of around the back of the cross-country course as well. So Hrafeyeva of Belarus going well in the early stages of this race. It's Eskau, just 4.6 down, but she's moving into position ominously. She has all the experience, Andrea Eskau.
And there's leaning into the bend. Unfortunately, there's Lee Doyon taking a fall. There's Rondo earlier with a clear shoot. Nan missed 2 and Chu 1. You certainly save yourself a serious amount of time and territory if you can shoot clear.
Well, winner 4 years ago, Andrea Eskau didn't miss a shot under the 2 visits to the range.
You know, the really good skiers can make up some time out on the course, but so often biathlon events are won and lost with the rifle in hand.
That's Rondo coming round. And we see Kendall Gretsch there wearing bib number 8 at the range. 3 out of 3. Good shooting from Kendall. And just the 1 left. That's the way to do it. Good, clean shoot. First visit to the range for Kendall Gretsch. And Kocherova with the rifle in hand at the moment. Nice straight sweep in that first visit as well for Kocherova.
Kocherova got stronger results really in cross-country skiing, but she did have a third in the World Championships 2015 in the United States on the 12.5k, fifth in the 6k.
Kocherova going through here. It's a grueling event. Just loosening the straps at the bottom of the chair just to give her a little bit more leeway in movement. We see how difficult it is certainly to skirt round the corners here. What is it they say? Slow in, quick out of the corners. Hrafeyeva now with the rifle in hand. And starting in the middle and working her way outwards.
She had 3 top 10s in Sochi, Hrafeyeva. The recent World Championships, she's really stepped up, and a gold medal in the 10k, second in the 12.5k, and third in the 6k.
So Hrafeyeva, who is our early leader here. It's Kocherova currently second behind Kendall Gretsch, 7:17.2. And down in the range, Lidziya, neutral Paralympic athlete, good shooting so far. Wants a clean sweep here. First visit to the range, taking her time, and she gets it. Well, you mentioned it a little earlier. Take your time over the shots, but it's worth it. It beats being sent into that penalty loop circuit. So Kendall Gretsch still going well for the United States. Kocherova in behind her.
Oksana Luna really favouring the shorter distances. She was a bronze medalist in Sochi in the 1k sprint and 4th in the 5k. Some of the athletes have better endurance. Some prefer the sprints. And all of them prefer not to do this penalty loop. 150 metres, and it's just a heartbreaker really, and a game breaker in many circumstances.
Yeah, we're seeing Hrafeyeva there complete her loop. Kendall Gretsch still going well for the United States up ahead of our field. We wonder about Andrea Eschkow and if she's able to just pace herself and position herself for a late surge. That's Oksana Masters coming in to shoot. They have 5 bullets here, times 2.
Oksana's story, well known, but if you're not familiar, she was born in Ukraine, not far from Chernobyl, and was adopted by an American family when she was 7 years of age. Certainly an emotional return to the Russian Federation 4 years ago in Sochi. She had a 4th in the sitting 6k. And in cross country, picked up medals in the 12k and 5k.
Good shooting from Oksana straight off the bat here, 5 out of 5, and now she can resume the pursuit. Kendall Gretsch still our leader, Kocherova in second place. And this is when things start to look very, very interesting. In the 7:41 at the intermediate, Lidziya, neutral Paralympic athlete, 4th. Masters slots into 5th place coming out of that first visit to the range. So Lidziya, Hrafeyeva there from Belarus. 22, almost 22 and a half seconds back there behind Kendall Gretsch, who is going very, very well for the United States.
We saw early on the fall from Pia of Finland, and she has withdrawn from the event. Unfortunately, it was over very quickly for her.
So Gretsch leads from Natalia Kocherova. Hrafeyeva, who was an early leader, 16 seconds back. Marta Zainalina and Oksana Masters completes the top 5. Oksana, though, going well in 5th place. And camera just picks up Marta Zainalina there, coming through. Neutral Paralympic athletes are aplenty in this particular race, the first biathlon event here at the PyeongChang 2018 Winter Paralympic Games, the women's 6 kilometre sitting event. The men's shorter distance is raced over 7.5 kilometres, by the way. That event is coming up in the not too distant future. Kendall Gretsch still going well, bib 13, worn by Irina Hrafeyeva, 5th at present, 30 seconds back, but you see the relatively slender margin leader has over the remaining 4 athletes in our top 5 here. And another visit to the range for Chu Bebe.
Chu missed 1 at a first visit. Watch the athletes still their breathing for the moment that the trigger is pulled.
Same again for Chu. 4 from 5, and I'm afraid it's into the penalty loop territory again for Chu Bebe.
Not easy to stop breathing when your lungs are screaming for oxygen with the effort of quick 2Ks around the course, but that is all part of the skill and the requirement of the sport of biathlon. As they come into the range and get themselves ready to shoot, they're concentrating on lowering their heart rate. Even so, it's a tremendous skill to acquire. Stay calm when the body's aching and the lungs are hurting.
Kendall Gretsch is our athlete mastering the conditions and the requirements the better thus far, but one bad visit to the range can change everything. So Kendall Gretsch will try to keep her composure. Kendall into the range, so that allows Chu to retake the lead here. Good shooting from Kendall. That's a miss, and that will harm her chances, so it's into the penalty loop for Kendall Gretsch. Just a reminder that the athletes veer off the race circuit, so to speak, and into the penalty loop course, 150 metres that is. So that takes a considerable portion away from your race time. Here's Natalia Kocherova, another visit to the range.
You often find in the athlete bios they ask for a personal motto, and some of them are obvious, and this one doesn't make sense to me. You are your own worst enemy. That's not really a very positive personal philosophy, but perhaps she means she's just any mistakes she's got to take responsibility for, and none there in the range for Kocherova.
I guess it's a little nod, isn't it, to the fact that the demons can knock at the door. You know, a race such as a biathlon race where, of course, you're racing against others, but all you can do, I suppose, is manage your own pursuit. And, of course, you mentioned it earlier, it's the transition needed to just slow the heart rate down to generate the composure required from the activity of racing, lying prone and lying as still as possible and trying to be as still on the range. Hrafeyeva is up there in the mix, but Kendall Gretsch 15:36 back into the lead, and she is going really, really well here. Kendall Gretsch of the United States. So Hrafeyeva back racing, and she'll be threatening the podium places again here. So Kocherova slips further back, actually. 25 seconds there, and Kendall Gretsch has a useful lead here Hrafeyeva slots straight back in, actually, splitting that top three. Kendall, Gretsch still going strong here. Next into the range, Marta Zainalina.
Reminder that we've got a men's race starting in just a couple of minutes. The way the schedule runs at the biathlon is for these events to overlap occasionally. So the men's race starts in about 3 minutes' time. It's a 7.5K. And a field of 20 competitors.
Slightly larger field here than the women's event. High quality field. This is turning into a high quality event as well for the women, dominated at present by Kendall, Gretsch of the United States, putting Andrea Escow, defending champion from Sochi 4 years ago, into the shades. Hrafeyeva will return to racing after her penalty loop, 21.1 seconds back. So the lead is being shaved down. You're looking at Oksana Masters here, the fourth placed athlete from Sochi 2014. They say it's the worst spot, don't they? Finishing just off the podium. She'll want a bump up in placings here in PyeongChang. And it's her compatriot Kendall Gretsch who leads this women's 6 kilometre sitting race, the first of the biathlon events here at PyeongChang 2018.
Certainly a little bit of breeze evident in the range. Some telltale red flags spread across the alleys to indicate the strength and direction of the breeze, and Masters has mastered it.
Indeed she has. 2 clean sweeps here. She's looking very, very good here. So Kendall Gretsch, still our leader. Oksana Masters is going to be up there. She's a real contender. The United States athletes going really, really well. Masters rejoins the race in 3rd place here, and beautiful aerial pictures here of the Alpenzia Biathlon Centre, which will be the venue, of course it will, for our 2nd race of this opening morning at the PyeongChang Winter Games, the men's 7.5 kilometre sitting.
Jeremy Wagner of the United States will lead them away from Kazakhstan's Sergei Usoltsev. So this race will begin as the women's event draws close to its conclusion. 29 there, Colin Cameron of Canada.
20 on the start line in the men's 7.5 kilometre sitting event. Martin Fleig will go last for Germany, but indeed Jeremy Wagner first out of the blocks for the United States. Sport classification LW 11.5. Jeremy was there in Sochi 2014. He's been competing in the cross country and the biathlon since the 2013 World Championships in Sollefteå in Sweden.
So we'll show you the start of the men's race and then go back to catch the end of the women's, and we'll flip-flop between the two. And the men will go off in 30-second intervals. Jeremy Wagner leads them away. Strong field of 20.
Indeed, Jeremy has good experience, been competing since the 2012 Veterans Wheelchair Games in Denver, Colorado.
And down to the line. Chu. As the athletes come in, because they 30-second intervals between them, a mass start is not really possible in this format.
And Kendall Gretsch goes into the stadium portion of the circuit. She's had a fabulous race here, Kendall Gretsch, going really, really well. So 24:23.4, choose finishing time.
She's going to be well under that with a factored time that again just takes into account their classification.
So Kendall Gretsch here for the United States. Look at that, 2:31 better than Chu. So Kendall Gretsch here has had a terrific race for the United States. And then Lidziya Kocherova coming in next, wearing bib 9. Remember, Kendall Gretsch went 8th out in the women's race. Kocherova 49 seconds back, is absolutely spent, but a terrific effort.
So at the moment, in the early finishes, it's Gretsch, Kocherova and Chu. United States neutral Paralympic athlete in China.
Hrafeyeva of Belarus, who led in the early portion of the women's 6 kilometre sitting race here. Coming over the line next, looking good for a medal, Hrafeyeva. It's that Kendall Gretsch time of 21:52. That is looking very, very good for the gold medal here. Hrafeyeva 24.3 seconds back. So that will more than likely be good enough for a medal. Will it be silver? Will it be bronze?
Hrafeyeva has squeezed into silver medal position behind Gretsch.
And Kendall Gretsch there, she thinks she's done enough. So Lee Do-yeon from Korea, bib 5, so she was 5th out after Nan, Joy Rondeau, Bebe Chu and Nono Nita. A really great attempt here.
She had a fall early in the race, which knocked her time around significantly. So not in the medals today, unfortunately, for the host nation's Lee Do-yeon.
Goes over 4 minutes back on our leader. Hrafeyeva up into the bronze medal position, 30 seconds behind Gretsch's time. And that pushes Kocherova down, her compatriot. But it's still Kendall Gretsch here. And next in, Marta Zainalina, a neutral Paralympic athlete, 1:20 down behind her leader. Good enough for 5th place at present. But remember, you're going to be seeing these competitors throughout the course of the next 9 days of competition here in PyeongChang. So Kendall Gretsch from Lidziya, Hrafeyeva and Irina Gulieva are 1, 2, 3 in the women's 6 kilometre sitting competition. Terrific racing and terrific accuracy in the range from Kendall Gretsch of the United States.
Fedorova coming down to the line, and she's well outside the time of Gretsch. Should be out of the mercy, 7th, just in ahead of Lee.
And last athletes to go, the last of 16 was Oksana Masters, 4th in 2014. Just what can she produce? Splitting up our NPA athletes, maybe in positions 2 and 3, and into the silver medal position. What a race it's been for the United States.
2 seconds quicker. She had nothing to spare there in squeezing into 2nd position. So Masters, for the moment, has made it a 1-2 for the United States. Behind Gretsch.
Giving it her all. 2 seconds better, thanks to that final surge down the home straight from Oksana Masters. Desperate to get on the podium after the disappointment of 4th in Sochi 4 years ago. Gretsch from Masters, United States 1 and 2 here.
Sinipir, who mentioned from Finland, unable to continue after what was a rough start. Sensational race really by Kendall Gretsch, error-free. Good at the range, skied well. This is what the athletes are after, the perfect race. then if you do your best, if you've left nothing out there, got no complaint about where you finish, and it might be top of the podium for Gretsch.
Yeah, it's all very well racing well, but you've got to be spot on. And you get down with a rifle in hand on the range as well, and Kendall Gretsch has proved exactly that. So we're seeing Andrea Eskau on the right of your picture there, the outgoing gold medalist in this event from Germany.
Can't finish in the medals, it's just a question of whether she beats that time of Zona Lina for 6th position.
And over a minute 1:12 there behind Kendall Gretsch. And here we see Nono Nitta wearing bib 4, so she went out in the 4th place, our 4th athlete to move out of the blocks here. And she's going to finish way down the order, I'm afraid. And it's still that time of 21:52 dead for Kendall Gretsch, which has been the benchmark in this high-quality women's 6 km sitting event. The first biathlon event here at the PyeongChang 2018 Winter Paralympic Games. So that's a nice moment for Nono Nitta, but she won't trouble the podium places.
I think we still have Anja Vicker to finish. And then the last to go out, and there's an LW 10.5. It's a calculated time benefit. And we had our eyes taken back to the men's race, which is well underway now.
Yeah, the second of 6 races here to open up the biathlon competition at PyeongChang 2018. The men's 7.5 km sitting. There's Jeremy Wagner, who went off first. Best part of it. 9 minutes ago now, it was Sergei Asoltsev from Kazakhstan who went off second. We had Gao and Brian Price, Derek Zaplatinsky, Scott Mina of Great Britain, and Du as well.
Gao is into the range now for China. I mentioned went out 3rd, behind Wagner and Asoltsev. So this is the men's 7.5k. Again, it's 3 laps, 2 shoots, but the laps are 2.5 kilometres each.
Gao Xiaoming, another, you mentioned it earlier, looking, I suppose, towards Beijing 2022 as his peak moment, when he'll hope to perform on home snow in 4 years' time, when the Winter Paralympic Games head to China. A relative newcomer to the discipline. He was at the World Champs last year in Finsterau in Germany. Had a best result of 8th with the relay team, bib 39, penultimate to go out of the blocks in the men's race, Taras Rad of the Ukraine.
Just Martin Flag to come after Taras Rad. And here he is.
Yeah, so Rad away, and last out Martin Flag here, sport classification LW11.5. He was there in Sochi 4 years ago, Martin. 8th in the 10k sitting event, and he was 12th in the 1 km sprint, but has been a previous World Championship bronze medalist in Finsterau last year, and a couple of other occasions he's been almost on the podium, but one of the most experienced athletes in the field here. Martin Fly going out last, so they're all out on the course here after the completion of the women's race. We wait to see who will make the running in the men's 7.5 km sitting competition. So Gao going well, wearing bib 23 for China.
Zaplonsky of Canada comes into the range. LW 10.5, so he gets a 90% factored time.
Yeah, Derek went 5th out of the blocks here, 12th in the World Champs last year.
It's taking a while to get set, but it's worth a couple of extra seconds if the trade-off is not doing the 150-metre penalty loop.
A lot of these Paralympic athletes are multitaskers, if you will, also participated in hand cycling at national level. He reckons he can get in amongst the medals here and needs a good couple of visits to the range. So far, so good.
Zaplatinsky heads out, and it's a real boost to the way they feel about the race. If they've shot 5 from 5, they go out with confidence, knowing they don't have to make up anything. And he has a quick look towards the stands and the skies and enjoys the moment, but only for a second, as it's switching straight back on. The Canadian.
He's not the only Canadian in the race either. We're looking at Colin Cameron wearing bib 29. So the Canadians, as we know, always strong in the Nordic disciplines. Zaplatinsky throwing down the gauntlet here to his fellow countryman.
Another athlete who shot clear at the first opportunity was Ultsasev of Kazakhstan. A couple of misses to Mina of Great Britain and Du of China. But Cameron joins the clear shoot brigade.
And just Lee there, our home athlete wearing bib at 30, LW12 sport classification. Good first visit to the range here from Lee, but it's still Zaplatinsky who is our race leader here.
Now the crowd sees on the big screen in the Biathlon Centre that the shoot of Lee Jong-min was successful.
And Cameron now moving up into the lead position. So just as the United States ended up dominating the women's race, it's Canada 1 and 2 here. Cameron from Zaplatinsky bumped down into third all of a sudden by Zaplatinsky as Lee rejoins the race after his first clean sweep of the range.
They have another really strong chance, Republic of Korea, in Sin Hwe-hyun, who was the flag bearer for the hosts at the opening ceremony. It was Lee emerging from the range.
And Lee, wow, what a popular result this would be if he could keep it going. He didn't finish in the sitting event in the World Champs last year, but going really well here, Lee, currently in second place for the Republic of Korea. Splitting those two Canadian athletes, Colin Cameron, who is our leader here, Derek Zaplatinsky in third place at present, also for Canada.
How about these conditions? We couldn't ask for better. You know, you talk to Paralympic athletes and they say that other games, that other game, that's just the warm-up for the real show.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely joke that they never get tired of telling. But I really think that they're getting some of the better conditions here on what is day one of competition. And Seoul here for the United States. Andrew is a real veteran of the sport, having 1 or 2 problems though at the range. And a couple of misses there.
Yeah, I'll be disappointed with that. 3 misses, and that is a serious amount of time put onto his race due to the penalties incurred. So also seeing Daniel Cnossen as well from the United States. Went out just before Andrew Seoul there.
35, there's Maxim Yorovyi of Ukraine, making his way carefully around these bends. The balance, all so very important for the sit skiers. So much asked of the arms and shoulders of the sit ski athletes.
This is Dmitry Loban from Belarus. You see there in the rather striking green ski suit coming into the range. Maxim Yorovyi taking aim here with his 5 shots. Maxim, who was a silver medalist in the 10K sitting competition in Sochi, got a bronze as well in the 1K sprint, so knows what it's all about, and a multiple gold medalist at previous World Championships as well in Finsteral and cable in the United States in a variety of biathlon disciplines. So knows what to do, Maxim Yorovyi, and was always going to be in amongst the favourites here. Sin Hwe-hyun from Korea.
Well, here he is, a lot of Korean hopes resting on his shoulders. He started to accumulate top 3 placings at World Championships in both cross-country and biathlon. and I wonder how he's come down from the emotional high of being the Republic of Korea's flag bearer. And he's missed one. He's got a bit of extra skiing to do, unfortunately.
Yeah. 4 from 5. That visit to the range for Sin. Our leader, Daniel Cnossen, by the way, of the United States. Again, massively experiences his second Winter Olympic Games, 6th in the 1K sprint 4 years ago in Sochi, 10th and 13th respectively in the 10K and 15K. So can he maintain this? But pressure is going to come in the form of Lee from Korea. We're just seeing confirmation there of the first race out on the track here at the Alpensia venue. Kendall Gretsch leading home the field from Oksana Masters. So terrific day already for the United States. 1 and 2 there.
And not too big a statement to say that Kendall's victory was a little bit of a surprise against some more experienced skiers, including Masters and Hrafeyeva. But they're now being acclaimed and admired and applauded for a great race. Kendall Gretsch from Oksana Masters, both from the United States. Lidziya Hrafeyeva of Belarus.
She had a good stint leading that race in the first half with Lidziya Hrafeyeva, but that's an excellent bronze medal. But the gold and the silver go to the United States. Already a massively productive morning up in the PyeongChang mountains for the US. Oksana Masters behind there. Kendall Gretsch, gold medal winner in the women's 6 kilometre sitting event here. Well played, the United States.
And smiles all around. It's great to see the sporting spirit so early, so prevalent, I'm sure, right throughout these Paralympic Winter Games in PyeongChang.
And the Stars and Stripes might be flying even higher if Daniel Cnossen can keep up the pace in the men's race, which we'll be returning to in just a few short moments. The battle is raging out there on the snow here at the Alpensia Biathlon facility.
Just a look back at some of the highlights of the women's race that turned out so well for the US with Kendall Gretsch and Oksana Masters. A great race offered, as you mentioned, by Hrafeyeva of Belarus.
So the ladies will have a well-earned breather and probably watch the gentlemen come in as well in this second race out on the biathlon course. Cnossen has been dropped down into second place there by Taras Rad, who went out second to last here for the Ukraine. So Cnossen has work to do to just get back at Rad, but of course we have another visit to the range in which everything could change.
Couple up the top that we'll keep an eye on because they've shot clear. Flag and Rad, both 5 out of 5. Cnossen, as you mentioned, also shooting clear. Lukyanenko of Belarus likewise. And Lee Jeon-ming of Republic of Korea. Unfortunately, his teammate Sin Wi-hun missed one.
So this is Jeremy Wagner heading into the range for the second time, competitor in both para cross-country skiing and para biathlon. And he's been competing since the 2010 National Veterans Wheelchair Games. So one miss in his first visit to the range, and now tries to just calm himself, bring the heart rate down in order to have a better performance this time round. And Wagner taking his time and a little bit more productive here. That's a better shoot. 5 from 5 for Wagner.
9 out of 10 is pretty much a minimum if you want to finish on the podium. Now, Zapatinsky of Canada, who shot clear the first visit.
Yeah, he has the speed, Zapatinsky. If he can continue to go clear here, as he did in his first visit to the range, then we have a possible medalist, no question, in Zapatinsky. But it's Gao who leads the men's race here. And that's a miss. That's going to hurt him.
So it's a relative time at that stage that we're giving you there with Gao. So leader at that second shoot. With the athletes going off 30 seconds apart, it's really a wait till it's over to know it's over.
Yeah, exactly right. And there's so many variables in a race of this type.
Oh, and Lee's had a disastrous second shoot after going 5 from 5 first up. So that could count him out, and a groan of disappointment amongst the local fans.
Oh, I just wonder if he was thinking a little too far ahead, how he can go from being so accurate in one visit to the range to being way off the pace when it comes to the second time to shoot. That's a real shame for Lee and the host nation.
Here's Cnossen now on the back of 5 from 5 with the first shoot. Every one of these rounds crucial now for his chances. Oh, and the last miss, he was... How could you not think, oh, I could get 10 out of 10 here, but you can't afford those thoughts, and he's missed one. Cnossen is going so well. These rifles for biathlon, purpose-built. And into the penalty loop he must go, and that's going to chew up 25, 30 seconds.
It's a nice camera shot there. We see rather than continue on the race line, you have to veer off to the right-hand side as far as the athletes are looking at it, into the penalty loop. And this is the problem really, when you miss those shots, that's what you have to do rather than continue racing straight away. So wearing bib 33, Daniel Cnossen, previous leader, slots back in just half a second in behind Colin Cameron, but he'll be thinking, well, I should be front running again here.
Well, he just turned a 7.5k race into 7.65. That's what it effectively means.
But this is a race dominated at present by the North American athletes, Colin Cameron, Zarek Dafetinsky, Yehani Lukienka slots into second place there. Another good shoot from the Belarusian. So that Canadian podium split at the moment by Belarus.
So Lukienka, the only athlete so far to shoot 10 from 10. One miss for Cnossen, one for Cameron, and Zopotinsky, one also, and Price of the United States.
And what a shame for Lee. Dropped right out of contention with that poor visit second time round to the range. So Dmitry Loban here from Belarus. We've already seen a Belarusian medalist in the women's race earlier. Here's Dmitry, who's been racing in the Winter Paralympic Games since Vancouver in 2010.
Loban, one miss first time around.
He's been a World Championship silver medalist, Dmitry. That's a good visit.
So out he goes. Now he's played himself into medal contention strongly as Dmitry Loban. And now Sin Wei Hyun, who missed one at his first visit. If he gets the lot here, he's a chance, but he's missed one. Oh, the weight of expectation, you can almost feel it.
4 from 5, so one miss, but that can be the difference at the end of the day. Now then, Rad of the Ukraine. Clean sweep in his first visit to the range. Oh, and he's missed one right at the death there in his second visit. Is it the pressure? You never quite know what makes the miss. But Rad, with that one visit to the penalty loop circuit, I'll be disappointed with that. So our leader here is Dmitry Loban of Belarus.
Lukienka, only one so far to notch 10 out of 10. Still got a flag to look at.
So Yarovyi now of Ukraine. Second visit. Wasn't the most successful shoot first time round for Hrafeyeva.
Was missed again. So he's shooting himself out of the event. Oh, that's... he's not had the sights properly adjusted, or something's not going well for him.
No, not at all. Remember this, the silver medalist from the 10K sitting event in Sochi 4 years ago. So Martin Fleig now into the range for the second time. Good visit, first time out. What can Fleig do here, the German?
He's at LW 11.5, so gets a slight time dispensation. And at the range, you kind of have to hasten slowly. Yes, get the job done quickly, but don't make any mistakes, and he's made one. And just the one.
Yeah, but just the one is all it takes. So Fleig there with a 4 from 5. Will have to do a penalty loop and then rejoin the race, but it's all hotting up nicely at the top of the order. We've seen the Canadians in contention. It's Dimitri Lobad here. Shoot 2, who is our leader from Colin Cameron and Daniel Cnossen.
Very close. This is looking like a great finish. Not, of course, that they're head-to-head. They're 30 seconds apart. They started. They'll be aware of where their rivals are, but only the ones closest in front and behind them. Just go as hard as they can, shoot as straight as they can, and let the result fall where it might.
So that's our first finisher, and it was the man wearing bib 23, so third to go, Gao Xiaoming. Is Dimitri Lobad, who's just been dropped by Daniel Cnossen.
Lobad with just the one miss.
10.5 seconds down, just over in real time.
It's this third lap that really sends a message to the body that this is hurting. There's a total climb of 51 metres, maximum climb of 14 metres around the course.
Lobad was a bronze medalist in cross country in Vancouver back in 2010, 10 kilometre sitting event. And he was there, of course, in the biathlon also in Sochi, 6th in the 7.5 there.
So Cameron coming into the line, he's got Gao's time well covered. It's going to be at around 24 minutes. So this is the one to watch in the early stages.
Yep, this is the marker, Colin Cameron of Canada.
23.59 is what has to be beaten.
2:23 better than Gao's time, so that is that for Cameron, the clubhouse leader, if you will, and he'll watch the rest come in and try to beat him.
And he's absolutely spent. And these athletes are, when they finish, they leave nothing out on the course.
Yeah, Du is going to come next here for China. And the second athlete to go, Sergei Asaltsev as well of Kazakhstan. And Jeremy Wagner. And then he's Du coming home.
Litvinenko coming in. And Cnossen. His time is looking good. There we are, Cnossen.
Yeah.
He's got it by 9 seconds, so USA, Canada.
Yes. Dumped Cameron down into second place, so Cnossen picked it up at the end there. 23.49.
Litvinenko has squeezed into third for Belarus, so they're coming thick and fast now, and threatening the leading times. It's a really good race, the men's 7.5K sitting.
Cnossen from Cameron here as they start to finish. And Cnossen will wonder if he's done just enough to protect that lead. A veteran from Sochi, a great competitor, Daniel Cnossen.
Really driving hard with the shoulders down to the line. You just don't know in a staggered start like this how much you need. You just got to give it all. It could be a 10th. and leave nothing out on the course.
Just saw a shot there of Lee trying to get his breath back, and Kamil Rosiek of Poland coming in. And a 10th place finish as well for Scott Mina as well, Great Britain's first Paralympic skier. So that's a respectable finish. Cnossen now will watch as Brian Price, his compatriot, comes in wearing bib 24. So he was first to go out of the blocks, and then just on the left, Andrew Soll as well. So Cnossen with that 23.49 is looking good here. And Zapatinsky, who was in amongst the medals earlier in this race, finishes 25.17 outside the medals, and pushed down to 5th after Andrew Soll's finish.
Soll just out of the medals himself. Loban. Just can't quite match Cnossen, but he's coming down to the line, and this is very close.
He's going to get it!
Yeah, he squeezes into silver medal position, Loban. Tremendous finish from him.
Right at the end, and Cameron pushed down in the bronze medal position. And Daniel Cnossen, just look at that. That is one of the images of the games, surely. The energy needed and the emotion expended when you cross the finish line. Handshake there from Andrew Soll, but it is Daniel Cnossen who now watches Sin come in for Korea.
Sin Hyun.
Bukienka outside the medals there at 25.02. And 24.20 may be there for Sin. Respectable.
Just outside the medals, and considering he did not have a perfect shoot.
Yeah, it's when the what might have been start to kick in, really. Your racing's good enough, but your shooting wasn't.
Brad may push Sin out of 4th position here. He does for Ukraine. So it's still Cnossen of the United States, and he's running out of rivals. He's starting to think and hope that maybe it's his.
Yeah, it's looking good here for Daniel Cnossen. And what a morning for the United States it's shaping up to be here at the Alpensia Biathlon Centre. Opening morning of the biathlon competitions at these PyeongChang2018 Winter Paralympic Games.
Still just 3 out on the course now. Yerolf has missed plenty. So too has Larsen. It just leaves Fleig of Germany as a possible medalist, but it's looking pretty good for Cnossen, Loban.
Yeah, I think Cnossen has this gold in the bag. Fleig has shot well here. Trygve Steiner Larsen comes in way down. It's 26.37. That's the best part of 3 minutes behind our leader. So Cnossen waits anxiously. Here comes Martin Fleig now. Last in for Germany. 23.59 was the silver medal time at present, and he's flagged in the last stages of the ski here as Fleig.
So it won't be a medal for the German. Really exciting race. High quality competition in the men's 7.5K sitting. And glorious sunshine.
Indeed.
Got a cracking day for the competition.
And I tell you what, you need those shades. The sun kicks up off the snow, and it's another obstacle to overcome, isn't it, really? And an already rock-hard event for these competitors, but they have shown their class here, no question, at the Alpensia Biathlon Centre. So Fleig comes in 51 seconds behind our leader, and we have another gold medal in the biathlon for the United States.
It's been a tremendous opening to the games for them in the biathlon. Sitting category.
Really disappointing in the end for the Koreans. They would have loved to have been celebrating a medalist here, Sin or Lee. Lee was going so well until his disastrous second visit to the shoot, but we are looking here at our gold medal winner in the men's 7.5 kilometre sitting event in the biathlon here at PyeongChang 2018, and it is Daniel Cnossen, a multi-talented athlete, on gold in para swimming way back at the 2011 Warrior Games in Colorado Springs, and now he is an Olympic gold medalist. Daniel Cnossen from the United States.
Hrafeyeva will be our last competitor to finish. We're making his way towards spectator area. He's had a few issues with penalties, incurring 6 of them, so that's a lot of extra meters. It's nearly an extra kilometre in a relatively short race. Oh, and he's had a big fall. He's had a tough day at the biathlon office.
So tough, within sight of the line.
Hrafeyeva gets a warm hand though. As he makes his way down to the line. It's a victory to finish, they say, and it is today for Hrafeyeva.
Yeah, finishes 2 minutes 11 behind Daniel Cnossen's time of 23.49. So that is the field coming home. And, just difficult to keep the balance with the body and the limbs just fighting the conditions and the challenge of getting around this biathlon circuit.
And the fatigue. And as an LW10, a bigger time compensation, that also means just a little less able to handle those turns late in the race when the fatigue is really kicking in. But there we have it. Cnossen of the United States, Loban, Belarus, and Cameron of Canada.
What a day it's been for the US so far.
Yep.
Gold and silver in the women's event, in the women's 6 kilometre sitting, and now Cnossen with a gold for the US in the first men's event here in PyeongChang. He finishes down in 11th place. That's a shame. Second visit to the range really undermined his chances.
The telltale flags on the shooting range, an idea of the breeze that the athletes are contending with. And as I look back at how this race unfolded, Cameron, 29 bib, a great race. Loban, likewise for Belarus.
So 2 medals for Belarus on this opening morning of the biathlon.
He's our ultimate winner though, Daniel Cnossen of the United States. Making it 2 from 2 on the opening morning. That's a start.
It really is. So it's been a terrific opening morning's racing here in very nice conditions up in the mountains of PyeongChang. And Daniel Cnossen for the United States has taken the second race of the day. We wondered whether the North Americans were going to sweep the medals here, but well played. Dmitry Loban coming in for the silver medal. And, well, we're going to see the athletes ceremony here. The medals are not presented to the athletes here, but their victory and their final finishings are recognised in front of the spectators inside the arena.
Bronze medalist representing Canada.
So bronze medalist for Canada, and it is Colin Cameron. Silver, Dmitry Loban from Belarus. Another Olympic medal for Dmitry. But our winner is Daniel Cnossen of the United States.
session of racing. So much goes on in these shorter biathlon events. Competitors coming into the range, heading back out, doing penalty loops. Plenty of information on the big screen. It's a very entertaining session to come to, and it's nice to see it well attended on such a beautiful day in Alpensia. These athletes have got some pretty good conditions smiling on them today. They won Olympic Winter Games. Confirming placings there in the women's 6K sitting. A good result for the United States with Kendall, Gretsch and Oksana Masters, 1 and 2. And Lidziya, Hrafeyeva of Belarus. Those two nations very strong. Hrafeyeva well down the field in the end with a 9th. Very experienced, but not her day. Getting a lovely view of the central area and the surrounds. In the foreground there.
Where dreams go to die.
It's something the athletes practice. How fast can they get around that 150 metres? Because it's going to happen.
Plenty more racing on this opening morning at the Alpensia Biathlon Centre in the mountains of PyeongChang.
So a couple of outstanding races to kick things off with the biathlon program. Women's 6K and men's 7.5 in on a day which, well, if you ordered the right conditions, this might be what you'd ask for. And we've really been treated to some great racing and some exciting stuff. Changes in the leaders, which is what you expect in biathlon. And a very good day for Belarus and particularly the United States so far, with the results falling their way. Well attended, everyone's enjoyed the action, the atmosphere. And the athletes we've seen have a heavy program of events, and they're looking to improve if they didn't finish near the top. Those who have secured a podium finish, well, they'll be looking for more of the same, a real confidence boost to begin so well.